Hello everybody, welcome to another Yellow Chair devotional. The weather outside is so gross and cold and ugh. I'm so glad that we can be inside, and we're going to do another science experiment here together. Then we're going to open up our Bibles and see what can we learn about God, the master scientist. So today's experiment, it has to do with something we probably all got laying around our house. Pennies. You have some pennies, maybe in a coin purse in your wallet. Now this one's a newer penny. You can tell because it's shinier, isn't it, right? It's shiny. This one, see the year on it, 1990. All right, so that one's a little bit older. But what are pennies made out of? I mean, here's one that's really dirty. That one's super dirty. It's not that old, it's just dirty. What are pennies made out of? Well, what color would we call this? It's copper. It's a copper color, isn't it? Now, pennies from before the year 1981 have way more copper in them than the newer pennies, right? This penny is from the year 2020. Okay, it's just really just got a little bit of a copper film to give it that color. But our older ones here, like this one here, these are made out of more copper. Now we're going to do an experiment here where we oxidize some copper. So here's what we're gonna do. All right, I've got a plate, and I've got some paper towels. So I'm just gonna take my paper towels here, I'm gonna fold them up, and then I'm gonna take some white vinegar and soak the paper towels. Okay, so I'm just gonna pour this on here real gentle until it's all soaked with vinegar. Okay, we're just gonna put some more on there. So this is just white vinegar. Now vinegar is it's like an acid, right? Have you tasted vinegar? Is it kind of sour? It's an acid. And it's not a very strong acid, right? It doesn't burn me if it touches me. But if I had a paper cut or something, that would sting. Okay, so there's some acid there. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my pennies and I'm gonna place them now on to my paper towel. I'm just gonna spread them out. And I want a variety of new and old because we're gonna compare some things here, all right? So there's some. Okay, so I've got my pennies spread out here. Now I'm just gonna take some table salt, just salt from my salt shaker, and I'm gonna sprinkle some salt shaker. I'm gonna bury them in salt. Just bury them in salt. Now, table salt, what we call salt, is actually called sodium chloride. And what we're doing here is that the vinegar is reacting with the oxygen in the air that we breathe. And then the sodium chloride, the table salt, helps to dissolve the copper ions in the pennies. Now it's a waiting game. It's a waiting game, but I did some ahead of time so that you can see what's gonna happen. What happens to copper when it is outside or it's in oxygen for a really long time? Well, can we think of maybe something famous that's made out of copper and it's this color? Look at that. Look at what happened. What happened there? It got a patina on it, right? That bluish green patina. So what happened to my pennies? And you can see these are still in different stages. We know that this one is an older penny. It's got more copper in it because of how much of this blue-green patina is on it. Now this blue-green, this is called malachite. Malachite. And what happens, so I'll hold up another one that you can see it's happening a little bit, is that the copper ions, can you see it up here by my finger? I know it can be kind of blurry if I move. You can see here it's turning there. And here's one that's dried off, and you can see it in the back of the Lincoln Memorial there. You see how, if I don't drop it. It's hard to see sometimes when it's blurry. You can see how it's turning with that malachite, that blue-green. Have you seen a picture of the Statue of Liberty? The Statue of Liberty, to us, that bluish green, that malachite color, isn't it? But did you know that the Statue of Liberty started out bright copper? But over time, being out in the elements, it oxidized, right? Plus it rains on it, and sometimes we've got pollution in our rain, and there might be some acids in there like our vinegar. It's just been out in the elements. And what has happened over time? It has developed that patina, that malachite, that bluish green hue to it. And that's from the copper breaking down due to the oxygen exposure. It doesn't happen right away. It takes a long time, but we kind of sped up the process by using our vinegar and salt. So I invite you to do this with some different pennies and then set a timer. See, how long do you think? What's the difference? What's going to happen maybe to a newer penny that doesn't have as much copper in it versus maybe an older penny that has more copper? Maybe even leave it for a few days and see what type of patina it gets. And so we just get to see here that all of these elements, like let me hold up this one for you again to see as it's creeping around. You see this? All right. This one I like because it's just gradual. It's just gradual along the edges, but then it creeped over. And I wonder, have you ever heard the phrase someone being green with envy? Green with envy? What does it mean to envy? Maybe to be jealous? Maybe you've heard about the green-eyed monster of jealousy, where maybe you're jealous of someone else, and then it just turns you green with jealousy is how we like to describe being envious, having that green envy. And the Bible talks about this in Proverbs chapter 14, verse 30. Proverbs 14, verse 30 says, "Peace of mind means a healthy body, but jealousy, it will rot your bones." Peace of mind means a healthy body, but jealousy will rot your bones. Have you ever experienced that? Or maybe you're jealous of someone else and it just takes over you. Oh, you're turning into that green-eyed monster. You can't stop thinking about if only I had what they had, or if only I was as smart, or if I could do what they can do. And you just, it just eats you up from the inside. You're just not content. But God says, hey, I got you. It's okay. Hebrews 13, verse 5 says, "Don't love money. Be satisfied with what you have, for God has said, I will never fail you. I will never abandon you." Now, this applies to more than just money. God, through whatever we're going through, says, I will never fail you. I will never abandon you. Don't worry about the stuff. Don't worry about the stuff. Don't compare yourself to them or their stuff to your stuff. No, don't turn green with envy. It'll eat you up. It'll rot you from the inside. But I will never fail you, God says. I will never abandon you. I've got you, so you're good. You're good. All right? Now, after this, I invite you to maybe do some research. All over the world, there's some pretty cool statues or buildings made out of copper that started out nice and shiny, but now they've gotten that oxidized, that patina, that blue-green malachite. Now the thing is when the Statue of Liberty first came to the US way back, did we have color photographs to let us see what it looked like before? Not really. But there is a statue in India, all right? It is Sardar Patel's Statue of Unity in India. It was given to India in 2013, okay? And over the next 100 years, it's gonna go from copper to that malachite, that blue-green patina, okay? So look up the Statue of Unity in India, and you'll get a picture of what the Statue of Liberty originally looked like before it turned to the blue-green. And next time that you maybe see a penny or you see a picture of the Statue of Liberty, let's remember, we don't have to turn green with envy, because God, he goes, I will never leave you. I will always be with you. Hey, it's gonna be okay. All right, there are some reflection questions in the video description below if you want to dive a little bit deeper. And let's say a prayer to close our time together. Dear God, we're so thankful that you will never fail us. You will never abandon us. We don't have to covet or be envious or jealous of what other people have or how they are or who they are. No, you've created us special just the way we are, and you will always take care of us. We can be content with that. Peace of mind comes from that. We won't rot in the inside from jealousy. We're so thankful that you take care of us, and we thank you for your love. Amen. All right, have fun doing this experiment, and I will see you next time.